Hey everyone, and welcome back to Civics Review. Today we're going to be talking about the anatomy of a Supreme Court case, who's suing who, and what the opinion of the court is. Well, let's get to it. So cases that make it to the Supreme Court can get a little bit tricky because there's a lot of moving parts. We are going to be looking at the anatomy of a Supreme Court case and sort of labeling all the parts and pieces so there's no confusion. The first place to start when learning about Supreme Court cases is the title of the case, usually in the form of name or entity versus name or entity. Now, the name that appears first is the person or party that is bringing the action to the court. The word versus is actually the English form of a Latin word that means against, but we use it so commonly nowadays, everybody knows what it is. And the second name in a Supreme Court case is whoever action is being brought against. So let's take a look at this case, Miranda versus Arizona. The first name here, Miranda, is the person who's bringing action to the court. And it's versus the actual state of Arizona and their prosecution of this criminal. Simple. Now, sometimes you'll see in re in a Supreme Court case name, the RE being pronounced right. Again, this is a Latin term that means in the matter of, and is often used when there is no adversary or the case is not contested, meaning there's no one to run against. If that's the case, then your case title will be called in re, and then you add your name. The next thing that you're going to want to do with the Supreme Court case is identify what the rights violation is. Remember, the Supreme Court only takes cases it wants to hear, generally listening to about 1% of those who petition them each year. The reason they select a case, that rare 1%, is because a case raises an important constitutional issue affecting large numbers of people, and that constitutional issue is always someone's rights. This is where a lot of students get into trouble. Many students focus on the insignificant details and not the rights violations. Most cases we're going to look at have very interesting backgrounds or fascinating crimes. But remember, the Supreme Court is not interested in any of those kinds of details. Those things have been solved in the lower courts. What the Supreme Court is looking for are rights violations, and that's what we need to look for. Now, interpretation is very subjective. The Supreme Court is going to interpret the law and give their ruling on that law in what we call opinions, meaning it's not right or wrong. It's just the opinion of the court. And when most of the judges agree on something, we call this the majority opinion. As long as a simple majority of judges agree, the issue is decided based on how most judges feel. Now remember, there's 9 judges on the Supreme Court, so a majority number could look like 5-4, 6-3, 7-2, 8-1, or 9-0, the unanimous majority opinion. But what about the other guys who don't agree? We call these opinions dissenting opinions, which disagree with the majority. Take a look at this pie chart. Red represents normal people, and yellow represents people that like pineapple on their pizza. Now, just because you might be one of these yellow guys that enjoys pineapple on your pizza, it doesn't mean that you're right or wrong. Remember, this is just an opinion. It just means you disagree with the majority of people on this issue. They often write explanations as to why they disagree with the majority. I mean, really, why do you like pineapple on your pizza? I would love to know with some kind of explanation. So besides majority and dissenting opinions, there are a couple of other ones which we will mention briefly here, though you shouldn't see these on your state test. To be thorough, we're going to go over plurality opinions. Now, a plurality opinion is when a majority opinion can't be reached. This doesn't happen often, but we'll go over what that looks like. We know what a majority looks like. If you look over here on the right-hand side, clearly Team Red is the majority opinion. But when you look on the left-hand side, there's a couple of other options people are voting for. Red seems like it has the most, but it's certainly not a majority, which is more than half. But if it has the most votes out of any of the other votes, then it is the plurality opinion. Now, the other kind of opinion is a concurring opinion. And this happens when we agree with the majority opinion, but for different reasons. And this chart explains it pretty well. Now, we just went over plurality, and that's Team Green at the top. And we have our dissenters, that's Team Red on the bottom. They disagree with the plurality. And then we have the guy in the middle, who concurs with the plurality, meaning he agrees with the plurality, or Team Green, but for an entirely different reason. And I apologize if you enjoy pineapple pizza, but I don't apologize. So what's the impact here? Back to the majority opinion. The majority opinion sets a precedent for all future decisions in the lower courts. If the Supreme Court decides that you have a right, all the lower courts have to follow that ruling. So let's take a look. You wear your favorite band t-shirt, Clowncore, to school. And the school principal goes, I don't think so. Well, my civics teacher told me we have rights and I think this is an issue of free speech. So I'm taking you to court, Mr. Principal. And of course you're going to start at the lower courts. We're never going to start at the Supreme Court. And when we get to the trial courts, they're going to say, okay, we have an issue of free speech with a student in school wearing a band t-shirt. Hold up. Didn't the Supreme Court already look at this issue? Didn't the Supreme Court already rule on a case that was very similar? What was their majority opinion? Oh, the Supreme Court said students have the right to wear that shirt? Case closed. Sorry, Mr. Principal, but that student has the right to wear a Clowncore t-shirt to school. It's already been decided. That's what's so important about the majority opinion of the Supreme Court and the precedent it sets for all future generations in the lower courts. So to review, the anatomy of a Supreme Court case is the title, which is someone versus someone, or in re something. Each case is going to have an interesting story, but it doesn't really matter because we are looking for the rights violation, whether that's a free speech issue or freedom of religion or whatever. And the Supreme Court is going to give some kind of opinion on how they interpret that right or that violation of a right. These opinions shouldn't be looked at as right or wrong. These are just the way that the judges feel, and we go by how most judges feel, which is called the majority opinion. Okay guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for sticking to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. We'll make more videos soon.